Good morning, friends. Today we are going to see the another one type of the fish diseases under your paper number 6. The title of the paper is Fish Disease Management, and today's topic is one of the important fish parasite that is known as Dactylogyrus. Dear friends, sorry, it is of the make correction, it is of the Gyrodactylus. This Dactylogyrus we have seen in a earlier video, and in today's video we are going to see the parasite that is known as Gyrodactylus. So previously we have seen the Dactylogyrus, and it is having the similar structure because both are the trematodes. Dactylogyrus was trematode, and this one, that is Gyrodactylus, is also the one type of the trematode, and therefore it is having a very similar resembling structure with the Dactylogyrus. Here this disease which is caused by the infection, the attack of the Gyrodactylus is known as Gyrodactylosis. It is known as the Gyrodactylosis. So this the causing organism is a Gyrodactylus. Simply, it is a trematode, and it is a monogenic type of trematode, and it is causing a disease. That disease is known as Gyrodactylosis. Dear friends, that means I told that it is of the monogenic type of the trematode. Here also this Gyrodactylus is not require two type of the host. It will just complete its life cycle within one single host. Therefore it is known as the monogenic type of the trematode, and it will form near about up to the 0.5 mm in length. So body is as we know that in case of the Dactylogyrus also, body is ovate, it is leaf like, it is flattened, it is bilaterally symmetrical. In these Gyrodactylus also same characters are occurring. It is elongated, it is a leaf like, it is bilaterally compressed, and it is having such type of the, you may call as the suckers as well as the heptars also. Anterior side is having the suckers, the head region, and posteriorly it is having the heptar for the purpose of attachment. So this is also the one of the ectoparasite. Keep in mind that this Dactylogyrus was also the ectoparasite, and this Gyrodactylus is also the ectoparasite, which are found onto the skin. See here, do not make a confusion. Dactylogyrus is known as the gill fluke because majorly it is found into the gills of the fishes. Majorly it is affecting the gills of the fishes. Therefore that Dactylogyrosis is known as the gill fluke. But here it is not a gill fluke. This Gyrodactylus is rarely, very rarely found affect the gill, but generally it affects the open general body surface of the host animal, host fish. So this is a major difference. Keep in mind that. So it has several species. As we know that these are freshwater. It is found into the freshwater water as well as the marine water, and it's having its own species diversity, and that having very common type of species, that is Gyrodactylus anguli, Gyrodactylus salmoni, Gyrodactylus ictaluri, Gyrodactylus cyprini, Gyrodactylus salaris. So these are the some of the important species and genus. These are some of the important species of the Dactylogyrus. See here, when you see the structure of that monogenic trematode, that parasite, it is a viviparous. You have been seen that what is oviparous and what is the viviparous. Oviparous is nothing but the parasite, the animal which is laying the eggs. That is a oviparous, and a viviparous means the animal, the individuals which are giving directly birth to the young one, that is known as simply the viviparous. So it is a viviparous parasite. It gives a direct birth to the young one, therefore it is a viviparous. We have been seen that let us see go through the little bit structure of the figure of that particular parasite. So it is a figure of, mind well, it is a figure of the Gyrodactylus. Body is elongated, head glands are there to the anterior side. It also having a well developed type of a digestive system. It is having the mouth and muscular type of the pharynx, esophagus, intestine, a reproductive system in the form of testes and ovaries, and it is having the viviparous. Therefore, the development of the young one is directly taking place into the uterus. Another one somewhat strange type of the thing is occurring here, which generally not occurs into the other type of the animals as well as other type of parasites. So whatever the embryo is there into the uterus of that you may call as this parasite, that is Gyrodactylus, it possessing the, no doubt, embryo is there, but that embryo is, even though it is embryo, mind well, even though it is a embryo, but it is a mature. Embryo is a mature, and not only mature, it can also have another one embryo. So that means within a single type of the parasite, you can have, there is a scope, there is a chances to give a fresh new type of the host. That means even though animal is a single one, but in its inner side, in uterus, it has a developing embryo, and that developing embryo is also having another type of the embryo. So there is a embryo within the embryo. That means it is having and that may be the active within a little bit of the time. So it is one type the particular characteristic of the Gyrodactylus, which is not found into the dactylovirus. So this Gyrodactylus is having the viviparous habit. It is having the mature embryo, and embryo within embryo is also reported into this Gyrodactylus. When we say about, it is a line diagram of the Gyrodactylus, and this is the exact picture, ultra microscopic picture is there, where the live picture of the live and active type of the organism is there. So you have seen that at the posterior side it is have the haptars. You have seen the haptar. So as in case of the dactylovirus, it is having the same function of the haptars. So what is there? Haptar is a unit. Haptar, it is a apparatus for the purpose of attachment to the host, to the body of the host, and therefore it has the two large hooks are there. There are two large hooks are there. That hooks are known as the anchor, and around the sucker, around the haptar, it is provided with certain type of smaller and larger type of the hooks also. The smaller ones are known as the hooklets, and larger ones are known as the hooks, and till larger ones are there, that larger ones are known as the anchors. Two curved hooks are there, that is known as the anchors, and both the anchors are connected with each other with the help of a certain plate-like structure. So this is little bit of the structure of the you may call as Gyrodactylus. When we say about the details, it is of the fluke-like structure, having well developed alimentary canal with muscular pharynx and esophagus. Just I have told earlier, intestine is usually of the branch type. It is consisting of the epithelial cells and so on. And these and one important point is here. Here, in case of dactylovirus, there are 4 eye spots was there, and here it doesn't have any type of the eye spot. It does not have eye, so it is don't have any type of the eye spot. So eye spot is not reported here, and posterior end is having the disc-like attachments, which having the 16 marginal hooks and 2 median hooks, we call as anchors, and there are 2 connecting plates also there, just I have told, to the median hooks, and it has the bilobed cephalic region containing the cephalic glands, the pharynx, esophagus, and internal structure also, and a male reproductive system including the brood pouch like structure with no evidences of the seminal vesicle. Seminal vesicles evidence is not yet reported, and it also having the prostatic glands, vas deferens into the male system, marginal hooks, and these are having the certain type of the sensory organs. So this is little bit regarding the structure of the infecting animal, infecting parasite that is known as Gyrodactylus. When you say about the symptoms, I told that both Dactylovirus and Gyrodactylus, these are the trematodes. These are the monogenetic trematodes found into the fishes, found into the marine water, brackish water as well as the fresh water. Therefore, and these are belonging to the same group, that is group of Trematoda. Therefore, as good as the Dactylovirus, same type of the symptoms have been also reported into the infection of Gyrodactylus. So what are that? That very common symptom is that fish is rubbing the body against any type of the substratum. It may be the glass of the aquarium. It may be when it is in a system, open system, it is just rubbing the body towards the, you may call it as rocks or stones or whatever the type of material is available, and the gills become pale in color. Sometimes such type of the excessive type of secretion of the you may call as this mucus is there. But in case of this Gyrodactylus, rarely it happens into the gills, because the target area is not the gill. Rarely it enters into the gills, so it is generally limited to the body surface, and fish will just try to collect the open air, free air from the outside. If it is into the aquarium, it will frequently comes to the aquarium, and if it is in a pond at that time, how it will also come to the surface also from the water level and towards the inlet also for getting the fresh water, and fresh water is having the higher percentage of oxygen, because due to the infection of these parasites, it will just damage the tissues, skin tissues, the muscles as well as the epithelium, and hence the fish will suffer from the extra activities, rubbing its body, and may needs of the oxygen. Therefore, they will try to go for the surface and towards or to go towards the inlet where the fresh water is coming. The young fish becomes thin and head becomes large as compared to the body. It is also one of the important characteristics symptom of that Gyrodactylus. The young fishes in which the head become larger comparing to the body size, and dark colors can be appears at the time of the wounds which is made by the diseases, parasites, and damaging the epithelium as well as the tissues. And in case of the Dactylovirus, it affects the gills. In case of this Gyrodactylus, it is affecting the skin, and sometimes develops grayish color type the spots over the skin. And this wound which is made by the damaging the epithelium or the skin, there will be the site for the working of the secondary infection. So the secondary infection may occur. So these are simply some of the important symptoms of that dactylovirosis, which is caused by the organism, the fish parasite that is known as the the Gyrodactylus. Sorry, it is of the Gyrodactylus. I repeat again within a couple of seconds. It has infection. Fish will become restless and frequently comes to the surface, frequently comes to the inlet, frequently comes to the out of the surface from the pond, and if the fishes are smaller, head become larger than the body size, and sometimes the wound may occur to the skin of the fishes, and when it is at the healing stage, here it will just make the dark spot over that wound marks, and it develops sometime whitish gray color, white area on the thickening of mucus on the skins, especially behind the fins or anterior or to the dorsal of the fin. So these are, and second, there is a greater chances of a secondary infection also. We shall stop here. We can see in the next video. Thank you very much.